Welcome back to Slide Scholar. This video is going to be the first Disney-centered topic on a specific character. If I have time, I may explore other characters and their backgrounds too. This one in particular centers on an evil lion who is remembered as one of the most iconic Disney villains. The topic is how did Scar get his scar? Every origin explained. As you already know, Scar is the main antagonist of Disney's The Lion King. Jealous of Simba's position as the future king, he orchestrates Mufasa's death and seizes the throne. But Simba survives, grows up, and eventually returns to reclaim his rightful place. That story we all know. But here's the question that's always lingered. How did Scar get his iconic scar? Over the past 30 years, there have been many conflicting theories about how Scar got his scar, and fans still debate to this day what's truly canon and what's not. Today, we're going to explore 4 different versions of this story, and what each one says about the character of Scar. Let's start with the first story, shall we? To start off, let's travel all the way back to 1994, the year The Lion King first roared into theaters. Around that time, a collection of books titled The Lion King: 6 New Adventures was released. The very first book in the series, A Tale of Two Brothers, served as an unofficial prequel and gave us our very first explanation of how Scar got his scar. It also reveals something major. Scar's real name was Taka, which in Swahili means waste or garbage. Here's a quick summary of the story. Taka was jealous of his brother Mufasa, who was clearly favored by their father, Ahadi, the king of the Pride Lands at the time. Wanting to humiliate Mufasa, Taka devised a plan to set him up. He provoked a water buffalo named Bomber into charging at Mufasa during a disagreement at the watering hole. But the plan backfired. Bomber turned his rage on Taka instead. Just as Bomber was about to attack, Mufasa leapt in and saved his brother, but not without consequence. Taka was seriously injured in the process. When he was brought back to Pride Rock, Ahadi told him that his new scar would serve as a reminder of his foolishness. From that day forward, Taka rejected his old name and chose to be called Scar. He then vowed that one day he would rule the Pride Lands. Though this story offers a fascinating look into Scar's past, there's just one problem. It's not considered canon. Why, you ask? Well, in order for something to be officially canon, it has to be either created by the original creators, in this case Disney, or directly confirmed by them. The 6 New Adventures books, including A Tale of Two Brothers, were actually created by a company called Gloria Enterprises Inc. While the books do have the Disney logo on the cover, that's only because Disney licensed the rights to publish them. So technically, while they're Disney approved, they weren't made by Disney themselves, meaning they don't count as official canon in the eyes of the franchise. Okay, now for the next story. Now, let's fast forward to the early to mid 2000s. With no official explanation from Disney, fans took it upon themselves to create their own headcanons about how Scar got his scar. 2 popular versions emerged. This is based on the theory that it was Ahadi who gave him his scar. One, the hyena incident. In this version, Scar disobeys his father, Ahadi, by inviting the hyenas into Pride Rock, something the king had strictly forbidden. Eventually, Ahadi finds out. Furious at his son's continued defiance, a heated argument breaks out. In a moment of rage, Ahadi strikes Taka across the face with his paw, leaving behind a deep scar over his eye. Humiliated and bitter, Taka later chooses to be called Scar, as a symbol of his shame and anger. Two, the failed assassination attempt. This darker version paints Taka as already consumed by jealousy. Angry that Mufasa has been chosen as the future king, Taka plots to kill his brother. He lures Mufasa to a high ledge and tries to push him off, but their father, Ahadi, arrives just in time to stop it. As punishment for his betrayal, a Hardy slashes Taka across the eye, scarring him. From that moment on, Taka insists on being called Scar, marking the beginning of his transformation into the villain we know today. Now then, for the third story. In 2019, we finally got an official explanation from Disney through the spin-off TV series The Lion Guard. This marked the first time Scar's origin was explored within the canon of the franchise. This is shown in the song When I Let the Guard. If you want to take a watch or listen to it rather, the link for it will be in the description below. Here's how the story goes. Long before the events of The Lion King, Scar was the leader of the Lion Guard. At the time, he wasn't much older than Kion, his great nephew, and the current Lion Guard leader. While out on patrol, Scar encountered a mysterious lion who promised him power. The stranger claimed that, if they joined forces, they could overthrow Mufasa and rule the Pride Lands together. Scar followed the lion down a narrow canyon, but it was a trap. A blue cobra suddenly attacked and bit Scar across the eye, leaving behind the Scar we all recognize today. The stranger claimed he had an antidote to the venom, but only if Scar pledged loyalty to him. Furious at the betrayal, Scar used the roar of the elders to kill both the lion and the cobra instantly. Scar returned to Pride Rock and told Mufasa what had happened. But instead of comforting his younger brother, Mufasa mockingly gave him the nickname Scar, a label that would define him from that point forward. Still determined to become king, Scar tried convincing his Lion Guard to help him overthrow Mufasa. But when they refused, Scar turned the war against them, destroying his own team. As a result of using the roar for evil, Scar lost its power forever. And now, for the fourth and final story. Fast forward to 2024, and we're given yet another version of Scar's origin. This time in the form of a prequel to a live-action remake titled Mufasa: The Lion King. In this story, young Taka and Mufasa embark on a journey to find their destinies, all while being hunted by Kyros and his rogue lion clan. Kiros is out for revenge after Mufasa killed his son, Shaju. Along the way, the brothers meet several familiar faces. A lioness named Sarabi, a hornbill named Zazu, and a mandrill named Rafiki. During an elephant stampede, Mufasa saves Sarabi from being trampled, but tells everyone it was Taka who saved her. Unbeknownst to Mufasa, Taka had developed feelings for Sarabi. That night, while atop a snowy mountain, Taka watches from a distance as Mufasa and Sarabi fall in love. Feeling heartbroken and betrayed by his own brother, Taka secretly allies himself with Kiros behind Mufasa's back, setting the stage for a dramatic battle in the film's third act. But in the end, Taka has a change of heart. Just as Kiros is about to strike Mufasa down, Taka jumps in and takes the blow instead, leaving him with a permanent scar across his left eye. After Kiros is defeated, Mufasa is reunited with his mother, who had believed him lost. But when he confronts Taka, he tells him he can stay in the Pride Lands, but he will no longer call him by name. Taka, burdened by guilt, then declares that from now on he'll be known as Scar, so he never forget what he did. Now that we've explored all the different origin stories, the big question remains: which one is the true and canon version of how Scar got his scar? Well, here's how I see it. It's important to understand that Disney's original animated films and the live-action remakes are generally considered to exist in separate continuities. In other words, the events of Mufasa and the Lion King don't directly tie into the 1994 animated classic. It's a different timeline, a reimagined universe. Because of all these different interpretations, I've broken Scar's origin down into 4 distinctive paths you can choose from. Canon. This path follows the Lion Guard, which gives us the official Disney-approved origin of how Scar became Scar. It was created by Ford Riley and produced by Disney Television Animation. Importantly, it connects directly to the original 1994 animated film. Non-canon. This path is based on A Tale of Two Brothers, part of the 6 New Adventures book series. It was written by Great Enterprises Inc., with permission from Disney to use the branding, but it has no direct ties to the animated film's continuity. Headcanon. This path relies on fan-made theories. There are two popular versions of the story, and it's completely up to you to decide which one, if any, you believe fits Scar's character best. And finally, live-action remake continuity. This path is based on Mufasa the Lion King, the prequel to the 2019 live-action remake. While it tells a compelling story, it belongs to its own continuity and does not connect to the original 1994 film. And before I forget, just in case some of you are thinking, but the Lion God was never mentioned in the films, so how can it be considered canon? Let me explain. When The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, and The Lion King 3 Hakuna Matata, also known as The Lion King 1.5 in some countries, were released, they were the only films in the franchise. They were the primary sources for the timeline, and there was still plenty of gaps left for exploration. Now, spin-off shows, like The Lion Guard, are designed to fill in those gaps and add to the lore of our established franchise. As we saw in The Lion Guard, Return of the Roar, and the later seasons, it does connect the events of the films, particularly in its season finale. The show reveals that the events of The Lion King 2 took place simultaneously with The Lion Guard Season 3. This helps explain why Kion was never mentioned in Simba's Pride. He was off on his own adventure, searching for the cure at the Tree of Life. After Kiara meets Kovu, the events of seasons 1 and 2 of The Lion Guard follow. But if you want a more realistic explanation, it's simply because The Lion Guard itself was never thought of during the production of all three movies. It wouldn't be conceived until 2014. To give you a clearer picture of how everything fits together, here's the recommended timeline if you want to experience the Lion King universe in chronological order, including the Lion Guard. Or in other words, this is the canon timeline. So start off by watching The Lion King. Then watch The Lion King 3 Hakuna Matata. This film runs parallel to the first movie, retelling the events from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective. After that, watch The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Watch up until Zero's song, My Lullaby, then pause and switch to The Lion Guard. Watch the pilot film The Lion Guard Return of the Roar. Then watch seasons 1 and 2. Then watch The Lion Guard season 3, but only the first episode, titled Battle for the Pride Lands. Watch just this episode before returning to Simba's Pride. Go back to The Lion King 2 and continue watching from where you left off and finish the film. Go back to The Lion Guard season 3 and watch episodes 2 to 20. Watch the remainder of the season, which continues Kion's journey to a Tree of Life and wraps up his arc. Addition for the canon section. In the canon version from The Lion Guard, Scar's real name is actually Ascari, named after the very first leader of the Lion Guard. By contrast, the name Taka only exists in non-canon material like A Tale of Two Brothers, various fanfics, and most recently, Mufasa the Lion King. So, depending on which version you follow, Scar's true name changes along with his backstory. Now, let's look at the live-action continuity. Keep in mind, this operates completely separate from the animated timeline. So you start off by watching Mufasa the Lion King. The film begins in the present day, before flashing back to tell the story of Mufasa and Taka's youth. Then watch The Lion King 2019, the remake of the original classic, set after the events of the prequel. Addition to the live-action continuity segment. There's also one more thing to know about the live-action continuity. At the very end of Mufasa the Lion King, we see Kiara greet her new younger brother. Now, the film never states his name outright, but according to storyboard artist Anna Potter-Warner, she refers to that cub as Kion while working on the project. On her Instagram, she even confirmed that the cub was called Kion in the film's script. Now, this does make things a little confusing, but the easiest way to explain it is like this. The canon Kion we know from the Lion Guard is the former leader of the Lion Guard in the animated continuity. The Kion seen at the end of Mufasa the Lion King belongs to the live-action remake continuity, and it is essentially a different version of the same character. Finally, we have the non-canon version of the timeline, which follows the events from A Tale of Two Brothers and ignores the Lion Guard completely. So you start off by reading The Lion King, A Tale of Two Brothers. Oh, and just like Mufasa the Lion King, this one also starts the present day, before flashing back. Then, you want to watch the original 1994 animated film. Then watch The Lion King 3 Queen Matata, and finish that off with The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. we've looked at all four origins: the official canon, the non-canon book, the fan headcanons, and the largely remake continuity. Each tells a different version of how Scar became the way he is. But the question remains, which one feels the most true to you? This was Slide Scholar. Till next time.